Hello, hello, hello. Happy Black History Month. We are, moving and zooming. I have an Aaron with me right now, but it's not the Aaron that you guys know. I have Aaron Jones Wesley, and this diva is a content creator. She has a podcast with her sister. She is always hip to everything that I'm talking about. Beautiful Black woman, and I decided, like, yeah, I mean, it's time for us to link up, especially during Black History Month. It makes more sense. So, welcome to the Bravo We're Black podcast, Aaron. Thank you for saying yes to coming on, and I cannot wait to get into what we're talking about today because we're going to get to know her better, and we're also going to talk about the Marvel series Wonder Man.
I can't wait. Thank you for having me. I love this show, love you guys' content. And so this is like a dream link up. So it was about time. We're like, it's funny when you're a creator, you like kind of run into circles with people. You see people in group chats and things. And then it's
Right.
totally different to be like in conversation with folks. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so like let's just dive straight into it. Megan, like us,
Mm-hmm.
I'm obsessed because if you guys don't know, and I talk about this on the podcast, is that people, I won't say you, ooh, I already reviewed myself by saying hue, but people of a certain hue really have a problem with this woman just living her life in America. And she came out with a Netflix show that is just like her being a young Black Martha Stewart, and it's just something you can put on, you can watch it and it's entertaining, but you can put on in the background and it's just like a soothing, nice, beautiful show where she's decorating, she's putting out charcuterie boards, she's just making like these amazing beautiful snacks, and she is just simply existing. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes maybe her husband, I call him her husband Harry, he just pops in because I know Megan, like that's my girl.
No,
But
exactly. We call them we say that they're Mary. That's their ship name.
exactly, Mary. Like, Harry will come in and he'll give her a kiss and she talks about her kids and then she'll get back to it. She not bothering nobody. But
Mm-mm.
as soon as Netflix even announced that they were doing a show with her, people were enraged. And I'm like, this is not just like a regular kind of dislike or anger or whatever. It's racial, it's classist, it's ignorant, and it's just
100%. It was
literally
just yeah, it just came from a place where people didn't know, and that actually inspired my sister Danielle and I to do the show. So, like, when it was the announcement of, like, okay, Megan is gonna have this show called With Love, Megan, and we
yep.
saw all of the outrage, it made both of us who neither my sister or I were huge Meghan Markle fans, although, like, I loved her wedding dress looks. Like, passively in America, we don't necessarily get into the deep side of royal news, right? Like, that's just, like, it's passive for us. And so that was kind of how we had been Meghan consumers. I remember watching the show Suits when it was on originally, because
Oh,
obviously, like, who doesn't watch cable TV? Like, so I remembered her, but I felt like when seeing all of this backlash, we both were like, should we do a show? Because to us, she's just a regular girl from LA. And like, we are also women from Southern California. And part of the lens that was missing on the conversation was the nuance that Megan was this woman from Southern California. And what does that actually mean? And so my sister sends me a text and says, should we recap the Megan show? And I just said, yep. And we like filed it away as a thing that we were going to do. And then the fires happened. So then the show got pushed back. And actually, that ended up being something that worked out. Like, I ended up getting married. All these things happened in our family. And then it was like, okay,
congratulations.
well, like, we need to thank you. But it was like, okay, we need to get back to this show that we always wanted to do. And at that point, there was even more news that came out where people were mad about her and Mindy Kaling. How does Mindy Kaling not know Megan's last name? Oh, she's so fake. That's not her real friend. Oh, they're shooting on a set. All of these things. So we said, let's talk about it. And what we found out through the concept of like us, right? Like what does it mean for someone to be like us? Really what we're talking about is like relatability. What does it mean for someone who look, you and I, we may be the duchess of our own homes, but we are not the duchess of a county, city, whatever. And so for
Yeah,
Megan to be the duchess of Sussex, but still have these like very much down home LA girl roots, what does that
right.
mean? And so we really kind of look at the show from that lens. We recap it, but we're also like, she's wearing all of this jewelry that we would be wearing in the kitchen. Or, oh, she's talking about donuts. And like everyone knows that like a California donut from a pink box restaurant is the way to get a donut. It's not about Krispy Kreme and
And that's what
Dunkin',
a lot of
you
people don't
know?
really
Yeah.
understand is that, and you answered a lot of the questions that I was gonna ask
Yeah.
you about how it came about, which I appreciate that because I don't have to ask them. Um, but that's what people a lot of people don't know, that this is not something that she just decided to just pull out of her ass with the Netflix deal. This
No.
girl, before she even met Harry, had a blog. This
Correct.
girl literally was telling us what to do. She was telling us her handwriting is immaculate. You know,
Mhm.
she has that experience. She is honestly like a 2014 Tumblr girl personified. Like
No,
she
that's exactly right. And we were like, look, she's living her dream life. Why are people
knows
being
this.
haters on this? This is what she
Why
wants to do.
they're acting like, oh, all of a sudden she wants to jump into this? Like, no, this is her going back to her roots. This is
Correct.
what
That's
she
exactly
has
right.
been doing.
That's
And
exactly right.
she's also never like lost it. Even when she went to England, she got married, she was treated fucking horribly, frankly.
Mhm.
Never lost it. Just a bunch of just negative things came out about her. They were always nitpicking everything that she would do, and then Kate would do something either similar or have done something, and the reaction is completely different. And it boils down to one thing. And Harry finally said, "You're not going to do to my wife what you did
No,
to
we
my
gotta
mother."
go. We gotta go.
And
That's what he did.
he packed his things up and they went to Tyler Perry's house, which sounds so funny.
It still is.
But
It's iconic, actually.
it's actually iconic because people don't understand, like, Tyler Perry is a billionaire. Like,
And
Tyler
he
Perry
said he
is
didn't even know that. He was just like, "I'd seen enough. Like,
right.
enough. I gotta get my girl."
If
Like,
you are
you
a
know?
black person and you see how she's being treated, I remember she did this one interview and it was like about like a documentary, and like she had just had the baby and someone was like, "But how are you doing?" And like she was almost in tears and she was like, "No one has actually, asked that. So thank you for asking that about me." Like that almost put me in tears, and everything that made people like dis certain people dislike her, it made me like her more because it humanized
Agreed.
her. And then she also a lot of people talk about her blackness. Like first of all, I'm sorry, she had a black mom. A
Exactly.
black mama with locks. And she had
Exactly.
the blackest wedding that there's the blackest wedding that England has probably
They had a choir in that
that's
little
it.
church.
Like please, please be so for real.
No, I
So
know.
like
That was
they,
actually a part of the things that we would talk about on this show
yeah,
too, is we would be like, okay, but also Megan's inviting herself to go places, which is like so black of her. And we just
exactly
felt like there was part of the conversation that was missing is like everyone wanted to dance around the fact that she's a black woman, but we were like, hey, we're black women and we see her in us.
right.
We see that. And so like we see each other, you know? So we were
Exactly.
like, we feel like we need to be like promoting this and celebrating it and then
Yes.
and, like, I felt like over the course of so we covered season 1 and season 2, and
Yes.
now as we move into our own season 2 of the Like Us pod, we're
Yeah.
kinda taking the concept of, like, people like us and really saying, "Okay, well, who else can be like us?" So each episode might be a different person, we're getting out
Mhm.
of the castle, we're moving
So
forward with other
give me the
people,
zhuzh
so
of like obviously well let's wrap it up on Megan in general. So you guys saw the same thing that I talk about in this podcast a lot.
mhm.
What's happening, the coverage on her, even like when they would write articles about it, they'd be like, "Oh, Netflix is so mad with Megan. She can never have," and then they'd be like,
It was
Netflix
crazy.
would actually be like, "Hey, guess what? She's having a season two, and not only is she having a season two, she's having a Christmas special. How about that?"
Correct, correct,
So
and
it's like
also people are buying the jam, okay? So stop it.
people the jam is so popular that
It's
it gets
good.
sold out.
I know it's good. I've had it.
I have the freaking tea bags. I ended up
And the little
buying
cookies
the
are good
jam,
too.
but I only got the apricot one because every time the
Mm,
raspberry one comes out, it literally, and this woman is so nice
I
and
know.
personable that I ordered the raspberry one and it was they accidentally like it's back ordered. So not only did they send it to me later, like they took it off of my bill, like they refunded me. Like this woman is literally just trying to live her life, run her
Yep,
business, make
yep.
her own money, do these deals, do this podcast and do that. And then she doesn't bother anyone. She doesn't clap back. She can't
No,
even have her comments on. Like
I
that's
know.
my heart
It's
so bad.
crazy.
So I'm
But
just like,
you know what though? Her DMs are open, and I have sent Megan DMs that she has seen, and,
oh my
like,
god,
so I think she's
she
online. She's just
well,
is, like,
she's
protecting her people and her peace by
right.
not having the comments open, you
Oh my
know?
god, oh my, I would die if I got. I mean, I messaged her, but
I tagged her in a post once, and she saw the
it's
story, and I was like,
insane. So good because
I
she
know, when
knows that
she
people
gifted us whatever, like, we got, like, gifts for the podcast, and we were like, "Oh my god, the Duchess of Sussex." Like,
literally
it's well known that in England, like, moms will tell their kids, like, "You have to clean the house because what if the queen comes by?" And we were like, "Oh my god, this is literally the, like,
the queen
equivalent,
came
like,
by, huh?
the queen is coming."
The queen came by, honey. Like, and
Yeah,
yeah, and
iconic.
she is that. She is the Duchess of Sussex, period.
Yeah,
Whether you want
period.
to acknowledge it or not. And I love trolling people online anytime they post about her. I'm like, my princess. And they're like, she wish. I'm like, well, oh, you're right, because she's a duchess.
Duchess.
But yeah, so anyways, she had the 2 seasons and she had a special
Mhm.
and she had a podcast. And whatever she's doing next, I will be there. I am the biggest Meghan Markle fan. You
Same.
have taken someone who didn't really know much about her. I didn't have any beef with her, but just the way that you treated this woman and the way that she responds with such elegance and grace, you made me a super fan. So I'm obsessed with what is next. And also, just like in general, like it's Black History Month, and there's been a lot of you spend a lot of time on threads, as do I. And that's kind of how we kind of mingle with each other.
Yeah.
But there is a hilarious, but uh, there's also some discussion about people's blackness in general. And you probably have had the same experience growing up. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you think you're a white girl? You talk like a white girl. You act like a white girl." And it's like, what does that even mean? Because I speak in proper
Uh,
sentences when I want to, because I like things that maybe not be considered as black. Like, no, like if you look at Meghan Markle's like her footprint online and what she does, that is a black woman from LA, period.
Thank
So
you.
who are some other people that you're covering on your podcast and what does like us mean for you?
Yeah. So currently, which is a little ironic, there's a lot of things in your question, but the
Yeah.
current things that are happening on Like Us is I'm doing bonus episodes of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And what is funny about that is like housewives are deemed super unrelatable. And so there's always a question of like, does relatability make for a better housewife or does it not? And so I kind of gamified it for these bonus episodes. So like I'm doing a scorecard. I kind of keep it like
This is important because
yeah,
and I know we're Bravo, we're Black, and we talk about a lot of different things, but at the core is our Bravo fans, babe. So make sure you check
correct.
out the podcast here, like
Yeah,
us.
so I
It'll be
do.
linked in the show notes, by the way, and your social media will be linked in the show notes. Continue.
Yeah, no, so I like for me, it was like, okay, like how do we gamify this? And like my background, I was a D1 softball player. I played pro softball. Like have been an ESPN analyst. I love sports. And
She's
so it was
athletic.
like,
Yeah.
how do we make Bravo feel sporty? Because I always say, like, that's my sports, you know? And so what
Yeah.
I have a scorecard right now. Erica Jane is the most relatable of Real Houses of Beverly Hills right now. Sutton is at the bottom. But if you like an unrelatable housewife, then I guess maybe Sutton would be the most relatable, depending on how it goes. So I would say like that is kind of what's happening currently. But as we're gearing up for season 2 of the podcast, it will be I can't reveal who we're gonna talk about because my sister will kill me,
Okay.
but it will be really under the guise of, like, folks that are California-based, Southern California, and what does it look like, especially through, like, the Housewives of Beverly Hills? There's only one Black person on that show, it's Bose, right? And so,
Right.
like, can people be like us even if they don't look like us, and what does that look like? How are people just, like, I don't know. I think it's really about growing empathy for folks that are in the media, particularly women of a certain age who don't get seen. And so for Housewives of Beverly Hills, it's really about that. For Megan, it was this Black woman who's finally being able to own her own narrative. And in her owning her own narrative, what is she choosing to showcase about herself? So that's part one of the question is like, there will be people, it'll be California-based people, and I can't tell you anything else other than it's from the
Well,
length of
that's
us being
enough
California
because
girls.
that
Yeah.
is that.
Yeah, yeah, because that's kind of the through line. So Beverly Hills was like, these are California women, Megan, California woman, and we'll see where we go from there. And then in terms of the question that you ask about, like, can you ever be Black enough? Oh my God, okay. Like, as you're saying that, my brain is, like, exploding because I feel like there is the question of who's Black enough and Blackness is so stupid. Like, it just is it's so dumb because what are we gatekeeping here? What are we gate it's your family, your grandparents, like, what is that? And the experience of wanting to be within a group of people that are your people. I'll never understand that. It's like you think I'm not Black enough because why? What is that? What does that mean? And I don't know, like, you're based in Florida, right?
Yeah, South
So
Florida.
were you born and raised there?
Born and raised in South Florida.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, like, we both are from, like, warm places that are very
Yes.
diverse, right? Like,
Yes.
Florida's a very diverse state, and so is California. And I think
That
and we become, like, a mosaic of the people that we've met and our experiences, and so I feel like that shouldn't be something that makes you not a part of your own culture. If anything, it just, like, adds flavor to the culture that you're in and exist in. And so, yeah, I not being Black enough is a crazy thing that I'll never understand. It's like, as long as I'm for my people,
that's the point that
then
I
I'm
want,
for my people. Like, what are
because
we
I
talking about?
understand when it comes to, um, people who are Black and they purposely try to kind of
Distance
like
themselves from
distance
it? Yeah.
themselves, like a Stephen Smith, absolutely, like, we can, yeah, sure, but
Yeah.
talking about just people who are naturally, like, being themselves and trying to, that is just not okay, and it also is like where there's infighting where
Mhm.
we're all the same to the people who are oppressing us. So if we can just stop the all that and just like figure it out and just, work on ourselves and work on building our community and not even play this whole black enough game, because
Yeah.
I saw this whole, and it's like a threads conversation too about how you need to have four black grandparents too. And I'm like, at this point, it's like that now goes into, do you not know our American history? Like, go
Correct.
into, we didn't ask to be
No, I know, it's
mixed in
crazy.
all these different things, but our that like that's so disrespectful and
Mhm.
not okay when you think about the history of like what has happened and how our people came to be and how we even
Exactly.
came to be in America. So
And,
it's
like,
just
as, like, a descendant of people who were enslaved in this country and
right.
people who fought on both sides of the Civil War, I'm like, honestly, you could go somewhere with that. Like, I feel like, especially in my own life personally, like, I've done so much work all like my for the Black community. Like, I was a part of a nonprofit that like renovated a baseball field in Inglewood. When I was like working for Major League Baseball out of college, I was at
It's
their
so amazing.
nonprofit in Compton. And we like one of the things is like I was a part of throwing a slow pitch softball game with the Bloods and the Crips to honor that they had had a 90-day truce of no killing and they were on the same teams as each other on the Compton College campus. Okay, so like to me, I'm like, don't talk to me about being Black. Like, I like, don't talk to me
That
about
is
it. Like, don't talk to
iconic.
me about it.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm
Yeah,
Black. I
I
am
would
Black
never
enough.
thought I
You know
would
what I
be
mean?
able to even be at that game, and I consider myself black enough
It
for
was so cool. Like, everyone was so cool, and I was, like, talking to this guy who was like, ugh, it was honestly one of those moments in life where you're, like, 1, so proud of these people
Mhm.
who are pillars of their community, and through being pillars of their community, they were able to, like, go back into their community and tell the youngsters, "Hey,
Yeah.
being in a gang, killing people because they did my cousin, like, that doesn't serve
Mhm.
anybody, and, like,
Mhm.
we have to lean on each other to be better, and then they had this truce, and people hadn't died for a long time, and they were, like, so proud of that, that it was, like,
That's it.
celebratory to have all of these, like, former gang members and people who were, like, leading the charge of getting this truce to be intact with the mayor of Compton at the time and like assembly members. It was wild. And like everyone went and played slow pitch softball. It was cool.
That is so dope, and that is so cool. Well, I mean, we've been
That was an aside, but
talking for like 15 minutes. I've learned so much about you, about your podcast, about your background. Before we even get into Wonder Man, I would like to know, where do you see yourself, or where would you put yourself like as a creator? What are some of your aspirations? I know that you already did it 5 years ago, and it seems like you never stopped being a creator, in my opinion.
oh,
But
thanks.
you're talking about like just being, in the online space a lot more than you were before. What does that look like for you ideally? Put that out there, manifest that, so when it happens, I can be like, hey, remember when you came on the pod and you were talking about how you wanted to do this, and now you're doing this? Like, let's talk about that. What do you want to do, and where will you be? Because it's gonna happen, obviously.
Oh, you're so sweet for that. I mean, I feel like in order to kind of forecast where I want to go, I think it's good to like honor where I've been, right? So like
Right.
I've had such a windy path to getting here in this place to be like, this is what I'm doing and this is where I want to focus all my time. Like I said before, I played professional and college softball and then worked for Major League Baseball and started my own nonprofit and then went to film school and got my master's in film producing and then was a movie executive and worked my way up the Hollywood ranks as an assistant to then go be an executive and worked on big movies that came out last year like The Housemaid and Now You See Me Now You
Ooh,
Don't and helped on the Michael Jackson biopic and Another
please,
Simple Favor and The
that
Long
Michael
Walk.
Jackson biopic.
Like there's been so much that I've done in my life and so it kind of feels like a little I I think that when I look at being a creator, and I appreciate you saying that you felt like I never stopped, but to me, I feel like I'm someone who loves to go all in on things and
Okay.
loves to just like throw myself into it. And then I like to see when I give maximum effort, what comes back to me with my maximum effort and my
Yeah.
maximum amount of passion. And so I've always loved the internet. I've always loved media. The through line is storytelling for me. I've been a storyteller through and through since my athlete days. But where I see myself going is really creating like the amalgamation of all of the things I've done and that blending together to be like the best version of me. So like my favorite and ideal day today like would be okay, like I get to show up on camera. I'm talking to you on a podcast. We're going to talk about a TV show. That's storytelling. We're going to talk about that. That's so exciting. But I
Yeah.
also got to be like on like talent. I'm on camera. We're talking. We're having
Yeah.
fun. To me, it's that. It's doing my post. I would say the way that I'm living my life right now would not change, right? So wake up, work on my writing, work on being talent for something, work on being on camera, talk about storytelling, maybe writing a story, maybe creating a story. I just want to create and I want to be a part of the media ecosystem that is creating entertainment and joy for people and honestly validating people's experiences for the types of stories that they want to tell and be told. So, yeah, probably just like I think the easiest way to boil that down into one thing is probably saying a media personality. I think that's probably the shorthand answer of that. So,
But basically, you just want to take what you're doing now and just do it at a different level, because you're already
I'm
doing
doing it.
everything
Yeah.
just listed. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
I
it's
want it
not
to be
something.
bigger and better and I'm better at it and I think to me like when you're able to collaborate with people, like being on this show right now, like I wasn't kidding and I was like, "Oh my god, thank you for having me. This is so cool." Because that's all I wanna be doing is this. I wanna be doing this at a different level and, it'd be great to be partnering with really cool brands and being partnered with, really cool media companies and being able to be, like, known as, "That's Erin, she's a pop culture expert, she's a story expert. She can help you dissect what your audiences are gonna be. She understands the internet culture, she understands culture." That's and I
That's
do that.
perfect.
So I
You're
wanna just do it more.
already qualified. You already done it. So
Yeah.
Good. That's
Yeah, I just
amazing.
wanna do
You
that
are
more.
not even I always love to talk about how Tiana's like, "I'm almost there." Like, you're
Literally.
you're almost there. So
Yeah, no,
amazing.
truly, but that means nothing in the social age without a personal brand. You know what I mean? Like, you could have all of this, but someone who I love is, Francesca Ramsey. I feel like the
Oh, yeah.
way
She's got it down
she's
to
got it down because
she
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 has
knows exactly who she is,
mhm,
what folds into her brand, and
mhm.
she can have anything.
Her, Brooke
Yeah.
Savard, Blakely Thornton, people who
Mhm.
just fully understand that they have a corporate side of them, a digital side of them, and can blend it all together
They are
is
just truly just getting paid to be themselves, and I love that.
it's so beautiful, and
Yeah.
I think that that's a cool place to be in. I they're cool.
Yeah. Love all of them. No, and Lauren Ashley Beck. Oh,
Exactly.
love
No,
them.
we see each other.
We see
This
each
is why
other.
I'm obsessed with you because I feel like your brain sometimes you say stuff and I'm like, "Oh my god, I would not be able to say it," and you say it in the way that, like, I totally would.
A little rough around the edges,
No, you're
but,
the coolest. You're the coolest.
oh god. Okay. I've had you literally I was like, "It's gonna a quick 30 minutes," but we just have so much good time, like, talking that I forgot that I'm like, "Okay, let's
I
get
know we're fangirling. If you're listening to this episode, we will get into Wonder Man eventually,
that
but
is
we're having a good time.
yeah, like, listen, we're just girls at the end of the day."
Exactly.
But then let's get into Wonder Man though, because are you a superhero vibe girl? Like, are you into superhero movies? Are you into Marvel? Are you into DC? Or are you just someone who just likes really good storytelling and TV shows in general?
I demand good storytelling, I will say. I need a good story, but not just like plot. I need character. Why do I care about this person?
Mm,
Why am I in? Tell me why I should be leaning in. And I do feel like sometimes the superhero stories lean so heavy on the fandom already assuming that they like that character that they don't do enough work to get us to be invested early on. And I felt like Wonder Man did a great job of telling us why we should like Simon, what he's up against, and so I was in. I typically I guess I like Batman would be my favorite, and I like the Spider-Man movies, and, I feel like Marvel sometimes is a little too far into a culture that I don't fully know about because Bravo is more of my nerd fandom or, like, sports, but
yeah.
but I do
Like you
like
have your different niches.
yeah, but I do like a good character story, and I felt like Wonder Man had that.
Yeah, okay, so it's part of Marvel Spotlight, which it has been, there's only been one other one that did the Spotlight, which is Echo, and that was another one that like, it dove deep into Native American culture,
Mm,
like, it was about, a completely different side of seeing a Marvel character and
hmm.
an introduction. So this is their second time doing it, and I think that they did that very well with Wonder Man. Wonder Man, if you guys don't know, yes, in the comic book he is white, but in this one he is a black
Oh.
man,
I
and
didn't even know that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But obviously he's an actor and he has these powers that he's had since he was a very young boy, and it seems to be, triggered by his emotions. There is a sector that the government has opened that where they're investigating. Basically, they got to fill these jails with superhuman people, and we have our guy from Shang-Chi, Trevor. He's on the show, and that is kind of like our oh, okay, I know this person, so I'm going to be able to connect to this person. If you are someone who's deeply into like the Marvel visual side of it, but comic book wise, you're there for Wonder Man. But yeah, so Trevor is basically he gets into his own trouble and the government is definitely on his butt and they basically tell him, "Hey, we need some information on this guy. You are going to follow him and you are going to see what he's up to and find out if he is a dangerous person that we essentially need to lock up." Um I just love that this show, like, you've already seen it if you're listening to this. This show keeps it ground level, as obviously it's an origin story that comes at the end. You kind of think in episode 3 when they show Simon as a little boy, that it's we're gonna get like an origin story and how he got his powers and all that. No, like he still doesn't really know how to control them at certain points. He doesn't know, about it. He's still finding his footing as like a person, as trying to be like an actor. Um, you know, all the stuff he's going through these things, and they also, like, include Haitian culture in it, which is dope. Like, I'm not Haitian, but I love that they're like, "This is a Haitian character," just like they did with Echo. This character is Native American. Like, they included Haitian culture in it and how, you know, Haitian families, Black men feel that pressure, to honestly suppress their emotions, and there's so many different lessons to be learned in this show. But anyways, by the end of the show, Trevor is sent to spy on them. They developed an amazing bromance that I did not expect to see. It's so cute, it's so funny, love to
So
watch it.
cute.
Um, and we meet his family, we meet his mom, and we find out basically, like, with his dad, he used to go and he used to see a movie called Wonder Man. They're making a remake of the movie called Wonder Man, and he wants to be the star of it. He lands the role, and unfortunately, he finds out that Trevor was really sent to spy on him, but Trevor just kind of couldn't do it. Like, he loved him. He felt like they really developed a real relationship. Unfortunately, since we know his powers are kind of controlled by his emotions at this point, he explodes the set, even though he's playing his ideal role. Um, and after that, Trevor basically takes blame for it, says that he's a terrorist and he was the one who blew up the set. And they take him to jail. And at this point, you would think that Simon doesn't want anything to do with him, but instead he decides to break him out, and that is where the story ends. And we have so many questions, but we also just went through a journey of, this is a Marvel show unlike any other Marvel
It
shows.
was so beautiful. The friendship story was just so heartfelt. And you, as someone who's not as into this superhero of it all, because I don't feel
Yeah,
like
I
it's
wanted
always,
to know, like, from your perspective as someone, especially storytelling, you said that is important to
yeah.
you. Someone who's not into like the superhero as deep as, like, someone who covers it. If you guys want to follow someone who's deep into, superhero journeys, make sure you listen to the I Cannot podcast. When Daredevil comes back, he will be giving recaps on that. He might talk about Wonder Man. If you have any questions, at least send them Kendrick's way. Don't send them my way, child, because I get all mine from Kendrick. So, but just someone who like is just, a TV watcher in general. What did you like about it? And also, you told me about your background on working on so many different projects, and I thought that was so cool that we saw him get fired from American Horror Story, and Disney was able to, if you guys didn't know, like, they bought Fox and they have FX, so they've got Hulu, so they can reference so many different points. Like, they were talking about American Horror Story, they talked about Frozen, Josh Gad was in it. Like, they talked about so many different things that they might have not been able to talk about pre 2020. So, from your perspective, as just a TV watcher, what did you like about this? What did you find interesting about it? What would you like to see more of?
I loved it. I actually felt like it was one of the best Marvel shows I've ever seen because it didn't have as much superhero stuff, but it actually was for the better. And I felt like sometimes in these shows, they can be a little inconsistent. So it can start, in a unique way, but then by the end of the show, you're in like big CGI fighting territory and you've kind of like lost the thing that made it unique. And I felt like Wonder Man was consistent throughout. And Yahya Abdul-Mateen's charisma on camera is just undeniable. Like, he has undeniable charisma, and him and Ben Kingsley, their characters together were so cute, and the bromance was so good, and I loved it. I was really in, and, I felt like You answered or you asked a question about, like, Disney being able to showcase the back scene of Hollywood and
Yeah.
and more than they probably would have, and it kind of some parts of the show reminded me of the show The Studio. I don't know if you're watching The Studio
Yeah.
on Apple. It did remind me of The Studio in some ways, but it was gritty, right? There's like it's like The Studio La La Land where it's like the auditioning and trying to find a part and trying to be the character and doing too much, right? And I felt like we actually got a really good foreshadowing in that first episode where we see Simon completely mess up. He's on set and he kind of like messes up the set because of
Yeah.
his, inability to connect, right? And then at the end, he messes up the set because he connects too much, and he's, like, too
Mhm.
his emotions become too much, and that also messes things up. And so I feel like the earned of him being like, "I got what I wanted, but now I don't have a person to connect to who was my
Mhm.
person. I have to go get him out because that's how I can keep going in this career." I felt like that kind of, like, story arc I was in. I'm like, I want them I ho as soon as I found out he was, like, the reason why he was going to that family to follow him, and it's, like, the reveal is he's there because it's now he's gonna bust Trevor out. I'm like, "Oh, like, this is so
Yeah.
good." I was like, "I this is the payoff
It's
is
like an
incredible."
epilogue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Love it, love it. And then I was also I love shows like The Studio because it really shows us, like, obviously the studio's a little bit, exaggerated, but it
I don't
does.
know, the studio used to be my life. I don't know how exaggerated
Okay,
it is.
see? So we got someone that can confirm, like, it really be
Like,
like that, right?
it's comedic, but it's close.
Really, but y'all on time, like, but, like, just also it shows, like, LA life. Like, I'm seeing the traffic, I'm seeing people in line for, like, auditions, I'm seeing them
Mhm.
talk about, like, "Oh, go get in the" but no crema. I'm like, Is it really no crema? Like, excuse me, like, wait, hold on, like, I'm South Florida." Um, just, like, also just what life is like in LA in general because we
Mhm.
always get so much New York culture in the superhero world. Like,
Mhm.
I don't even know how there even is a New York in the world of superheroes because everything happens in New York.
Decimated.
They tear that shit up every single time. So I'm like, yeah, it makes sense that y'all go to the West Coast for a little bit because New York is like ground zero at this.
We will rebuild.
Exactly. But Simon, he is obviously someone who like it represents like a lot, like I said, like what black men go through with holding their emotions in. Like I love
Mhm.
that double play on it. And also like his relationship with his brother, where his brother is like the perfect son. And like they have that argument where it's like, oh yeah, you went and you bought your mom a present with the money that she gave you. And it's like, oh,
Mhm.
I hate that
And he,
feeling.
like, he loses it. He's like,
Yeah.
"I can't believe that." I actually feel like, the character of Simon, he has a lot that he's trying to deal with all at once, right? Because
Yeah.
he's trying to deal with getting a job that then he feels he's worthy of, but
Yeah.
also dealing with his family who
Yeah.
doesn't get what he's doing. His girlfriend left him because she's like, "You don't have enough going on." His agent is trying to get him any job he can, and he's like, "I can do better." And he believes he can do better, but it doesn't feel like anyone around him feels like he could do better until he meets Trevor. And
Yeah.
Trevor's the first person that's like, "I get you, and I actually do believe that there's more to you than what everyone else is seeing." And that's why he can't turn him in because he's like, "I believe in this kid, and he's trying so hard." And like, there's something so I think really beautiful about that because Trevor has his own shit going on. Like Trevor's like running from the not being called a terrorist. He like kind of blew up his own career. Like he's got his
Yeah.
own thing and he still yet wants to be friends with Simon and help him get to where he's going to go. Also, by the way, when they're in that house making the chamoy and they're like they think it's drug dealers and it's actually just like Mexican candy.
Right?
And lost it. Like the show
Hilarious.
is so funny. Also, chamoy is delicious.
It was so hilarious, like, and that's why I love that it was just like, this is not this big, huge show where there's gonna be a bunch of fights and like you said, CGI at the end. We're introducing to you, I mean, this character, we're putting the spotlight on this character, which is why every time they put it on. It's the Marvel spotlight. Like, no, we're gonna let you like it's just very intimate, it
Yeah.
felt. We're gonna let
What did you think? Sorry to interrupt, but I need to
oh,
know what you thought about the doorman episode.
oh, I thought that that was one of like the best and like weirdest. It made me very uncomfortable.
It was so weird and uncomfy, but I loved it.
Yeah, in, like, the best way, like, it gives, like, a black mirror, and I'm like, "Well, where did Josh Gad go?" Like, and, like, "How are you even this out here if you're this guy?" It was just so much going on at one point, like, it stressed me out, it made me think, and made my skin crawl at the same time.
Going through the stomach.
Yeah,
Ah.
like, what is going on? And I'm like, "Is that even a power that like, why is that is that a power? Is that even a power?" Like, what?
What's so wild is like so the episode before, he's like, no one can find out because of what happened to Doorman. And you're like, I don't know the comics. I'm like, Doorman, what is he talking about? And
Yeah,
then the whole next episode is
yep,
literally about Doorman and you get all
and
of
they
the information about it. I was like, oh
yes.
my God. Also, I'm so uncomfortable. And like you brought up earlier that like because it's Disney, they can use a bunch of Disney IP. And
Yes.
that I was cracking up when they're in the club and it's the song that Olaf sings in Frozen, and
Yes.
that's the song that the club's going up to, and I
Mind you, I am
I
a
lost it.
Frozen girl. I love Frozen down. My niece loves Frozen down. Like, I love Summer, that's the song Summer,
Yeah.
and I love Josh Gad,
And they're
and
like, "Summer, summer," and
yeah,
everyone is, like, losing it. I was
what
like,
is
"That is
this?
so funny."
Like, I would like to be there also,
No, I
though,
said, "Wait, that seems lit." Like, I wanna be at that
for
club
this. Like,
dancing. Like,
I
what is
know
this
it's gonna
club, Disney? Like, I'm trying to be there.
yeah, like, it had so many, like, ironic, things that felt like they were talking, like, through the screen to the viewer, like, breaking the 3rd wall, and then also just, like, a behind the scenes, like, sneak peek of what it's like to be on set and also what it's like to be an actor, what it's like to live in LA, what it's like to be a Haitian American man,
Mhm.
like, just trying to, like, get by. But I can't wait to see where he goes next. Is he going to link up with Shang-Chi somehow? Like, is he like, what is Trevor gonna go back to the land where where, like, we were at in Shang-Chi? Is it gonna, like, coincide with and because it got pushed back so many times. I think it
Mhm.
was made in, like, what, 2022, 2020
I think
something,
it like at least 2024 or 2023. It was a while ago. But you know
and
what's so funny is like it's the same director. So that's what
yeah,
connects it. So Destin Daniel Cretton directed Shang-Chi and then
yeah,
also did Wonder Man, but he's also going to do one of the Spider-Man movies that's coming
he
up.
is Brand New Day.
So yeah, so
So
there's
it's
he's
like,
got a lot of things. And if anyone isn't that much of a film nerd, I will be the film nerd for us today,
well,
which
please,
is Destin Daniel Cretton has an amazing movie called Short Term 12. And it's
who's in it?
Lakeith Stanfield, Brie Larson,
Oh,
and it's before they broke. So it's like he made a short film and then he made that into a feature. And it's like I think might be his first or second feature. Oh, it is one of my favorite movies of all times. It is so gripping, emotional, character driven, like so, so good. So then when you see that this kind of like you can tell he just draws a lot from his personal experiences, and I feel like with Wonder Man, he's drawing from his personal experiences from working in Hollywood and working his way up, and that really comes through in the character, so when you ask, like, "Will it go into the Shang-Chi universe?" I'm like, "He would eat that." Like, he would
yeah.
Yeah, I hope it does because he knows what he's doing, like, he's honestly one of the best directors, like, I am obsessed with him, he's so, so good at what he does.
So I think that we know that he won't be in Doomsday, but there's Secret Wars after, and I believe that he's gonna be in Secret Wars, but
Oh,
also
really?
have Vision Quest coming up, which we've been waiting for Vision Quest a bunch, and it we were talking a little bit before this about how it got pushed back, and then, like, there's a writer's strike, and then pushed back some more, and then released this year in January. But also if Vision Quest comes out, there is a storyline where I don't even know how what happens, but there's a connection with him, Wanda, and Vision. Some
Oh.
I don't know if they're gonna put that in the show or not, or how that's going to happen. But I can't wait to see what we have for both Trevor and Simon next. And Yaya in general is such a good actor. He was on Aquaman in the first place, so this is not his first time being a superhero. This is
Mhm.
his time being like the marquee. So I just can't wait to see what's next for this character. Check out the
Yeah.
show, you guys. Even if you don't really like superhero, I would prefer people who don't like superhero movies or shows watch this because it just feels like a show, like a TV show.
It
And
does. Yeah.
so
This is
definitely
the
watch this.
easiest watch if you don't like superhero stuff. It is yeah.
Yeah, easy, easy watch. And they dropped all 8 episodes. I just wanted to really talk about it because I don't feel like it got enough promotion. But the thing about this is that it's so good that people are talking about it on their own. And word of mouth, if you guys don't understand what I was taught, like in when I was going to do marketing, and then I was like, I don't want to do any of this. When was doing marketing, they told me there's nothing that can pay for advertisement more than word of mouth. And the word of mouth on this show is
Mhm.
amazing. Like the people who wanted to hate the show and wanted it to fail and wondered why it was even coming out are actually saying, "Oh, this was really good." So definitely check it out. Check out let everyone know where to find you, where to find your podcast, and what you already told us what to look forward to. But sign off for us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for having me one more time. You can find me at Aaron Jones Wesley and like at like us pod. And also if you want to like play along with the like us, like I said, I gamified it, which means that like there's your own scorecard that you can use at aaronjw.com/keep score. So you can also play along with me and have your own scorecard. So we're recapping Real Houses of Beverly Hills right now, but there will be more show to see later. And yeah, can't wait to see y'all in my feed.
Perfect. And thank you so much for doing the podcast. I really appreciate it. You guys, make sure you follow, you subscribe, and you rate her podcast 5 stars. This helps us more than you know. It helps podcasts get discovered. It helps brands see you. It helps, like, and it's free. So make sure you rate 5 stars, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I will definitely be talking to you guys very soon. We're going to be talking about some Bravo stuff. We're going to be talking about Bridgerton because I gave y'all enough time. Like it came out almost by the time this out, it'll be out a week. So a week is not a lot of time in general, but for me and for Bridgerton, people have been talking about it. I done made memes about it. So we have to talk about Bridgerton and we got to talk about industry and we got to talk about a whole bunch of different things. So after you listen to this, make sure you go watch your TV, do your homework, have a great day, have a great Black History Month. Happy Black History Month to you.
Happy Black
And
History Month.
yeah. Okay. And yeah, talk to you soon. Bye guys.